Pour that shit up.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna keep it over here.
Pour that shit up. See, told y'all I was pretty good at it. Anyways, this is an hour with Crowder. Hey, what up, gentlemen, ladies, whatever you want to call yourself. Today we got a good ass ghost. I said ghost. You're dead to me. We got a good ass guest here. We're gonna be over there talking about bullshit. And go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
Excuse me. My name is Morgan or Mo.
Jack.
Mo Henderson. What else you want to know?
You just want to get straight into the meat potatoes.
No, I'm just saying, what else you want me to say for my introduction?
See, cut that. Okay. Basically, just you're basically a speaker, and I'm glad that I just wanted to have you on for speaking and everything. So this is Mo Henderson. He's going to be over there sitting up there talking to us about issues, about transitioning and all of that good stuff, all the questions that you want to know that you got inside of your head, but you're too fucking scary to ask them. This is the guy that you want to talk to, and I'm one of those people that's been living under a fucking rock. Let me take these off because I know that there's a glare on my lenses. But, yeah, one of the questions that I've been over there just going about in my head because like I said, I've been living in a motherfucking rock. I didn't even know that this was like a whole big thing that you guys were going through within the community, not just the LGBT community. I mean, not just the general community of people, but the LGBT community. A lot of us shade you guys off because of, whatever reason. I don't know. I'm one of those people. I've just been living in a rock. Tell me a little bit about like the transition and your thoughts about detransitioning, because a lot of people think that there's something. One of them happened to be famous for it. Well, she got a little, she, I don't know which one she transitioned to. She transitioned from a girl to a boy to a girl. So FMF, female transition, whatever.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. She was a girl, and then she transitioned. Her name is Ella Palmer. Look her up. Yeah, Ella Palmer. She was a girl, and then she transitioned into a boy, and then she figured out, ooh, I don't really like this fucking shit, and then she transitioned back into a girl. Now she's just waiting on her voice to go back girly right now. But what is your tell us a little bit about your process of transitioning, and then a little bit about how you feel about detransitioning, because we all know that kind of like in the gay community, we think somebody studded out. They gonna be a stud forever, and then before you know it, they got 3 kids, and you like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, I guess a little bit about my transition. I started transitioning. Actually, what's today? 23rd? Yeah, so tomorrow's 24th. So tomorrow will actually be 2 years since I started on testosterone.
Woo!
Which I like to call that my maniversary.
Everybody calling it that shit.
Yeah, I like to call it that. Cool. I really don't know what else you want me to say about it. I sat on it for a long time. I really thought about it for a while before I actually did it. And honestly, I didn't even know that it was a thing. I didn't even know that you could transition growing up. I had only seen one transgender woman on TV through the real world.
Who was that? RuPaul?
It was a season on the Real World, and I can't even remember the girl's name, but she was on there, and so that's all I had known. I didn't know it was a thing. I didn't know you could do that, and so after seeing her, and that didn't resonate with me then, because again, that was a man becoming a woman, so that didn't dawn on me to be like, oh, well, I can do that. So I didn't even know it was a thing for females to become men. Yeah. And so, but I actually had a friend who was going through it a couple of years ago, and so I started talking to him and getting questions answered and all that kind of stuff. So I really started to look into it, and I was like, and that's when it really started to resonate with me. Like, oh, okay, this is it. This is what I want to do. And so I like I said, I thought about it for a while, and I got my testosterone prescription, and then I did it.
Do you ever think that you're gonna detransition?
Hell no.
Because everybody says that. I've had stud homeboys and stuff that say, oh, I'm gonna be fucking bitches for the rest of my life, and then those are those same people that they end up pregnant, and it's like feelings can change. So it's like, you know, how do you deal with that? Like, feelings change. You can go back 3 weeks from now if you felt like it, and would you even do it? Or would you try to hold your pride and to be like, I know I did the right thing?
That's something that I can't answer because I don't feel like that. I would never. This is the best decision I ever made in my life. I would never go back.
I remember you saying a little bit often because I went to your speaking session or whatever. Whenever I went there, or whatever, and you were saying a lot about how you felt depressed and you felt all this, and I think I even hit you up about it because I was so interested in how this happened and what happens and just the mind of someone that's transitioning, because me, myself, I'm a person that, I like to be with girls, but I don't ever feel like, oh, you know, I want to be a man. Sometimes I feel like it when I have like my period or like when I can't pee outside.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
Yeah, stuff like that, just minor stuff. But it's like, what's the difference between feeling depressed and feeling like you're transitioning and body dysphoria? That's a big one. A lot of people think they're having body dysphoria when they're really actually just needs to transition or want to transition into what they want to be and how they feel inside. And then some of them are depressed.
I really can't. It's hard. It's hard to explain because I know that one thing I could really sum up to what would be a big difference is whenever it's more body dysphoria that's having to deal with any kind of gender transition, you mainly focus on areas of the body that if you were born a woman, you focus on areas of the body that accentuate and make your body look woman-like hips or your breasts or the fact that you have a vagina. So stuff like that can really, really give you body dysphoria, as opposed to somebody who just has like general body dysphoria. They may not like their nose, or they might think their shoulders are too wide, or stuff that doesn't necessarily correlate to whether being a man or a woman. So it's something outside of like breast or a vagina or a penis or something like that. So that's mainly the biggest thing that I could differentiate. But like I said, for me, the one thing that I think I want people to understand is that it's deeper than, this isn't just something that you just wake up and you just feel like, oh, this is something I want to do, I'm gonna try that out.
Yeah.
Like it's something that's like deeply embedded. Like you know. Like I never saw myself in my mind. I've never really seen myself as a woman. So it's just something that's so. It's a different mindset. It's something that I don't think people can really fully understand unless you've been there, because it's kind of like you talk about like detransitioning, and I just kind of want to put this to rest. It's like actually a lot of people especially people who try to come up with arguments against transgender people or whatever. It's actually less than half of 1% of people who actually go back or detransition. So it's very, very rare that people will actually get there and they're like, oh, this isn't what I want, and then they go back. So that's just not common, because and a lot of the times for transgender people, we know it way before anybody else does. We've thought about this for years. We felt like this for years. We felt like this since we were young. So
what was that age for you?
Honestly, when I became cognizant of liking other kids and stuff like that, whenever you start to and whenever a child starts to form, be able to differentiate between genders, be able to, when you realize that you like somebody else. Like when I started, because I think I had my first crush on a girl like when I was in kindergarten. So whenever you start to kind of whenever you start to come into those kind of, whenever children start to become conscious of those kind of things, I think that's when it starts to creep in, because for me that's when it was. But it came out in the form of, like, I would tell my mom, like, I had a big imagination. So I used to pretend that I was a little boy. So I would tell my mom, like, call me a little boy, or act like I'm a little boy. So she just thought it was a phase. And at the time, like I said, I didn't know that was a thing that you could do that. So I was just pretending. So I can just remember little stuff like that it's like I said, it's so deeply embedded. By the time somebody transgender comes out and tells you that they're transgender,
they've already thought about it.
They've known that shit for years.
Okay, do you believe in manifestation and words are power and stuff like that? Do you think that because your mom went head on and treated you as a boy and said that you were a boy, that fed into the thought pattern that you was a boy? Because even though you knew, look, I used to thought I was a dog. No, seriously, I thought that I was a dog, walk on all fours. You know, it took my plate down on the ground, ate like a dog, and my mom was like, what the fuck is going on with this girl right here? But she didn't say anything because she was just like, whatever. But one day, my mom was like, get the fuck up off the ground. You're not a dog. Stop eating with the dog. And that killed that shit. But literally, I thought I was a dog. But if my mom had kept treating me like a dog, how would I think that I was a dog right now?
Yeah, right.
So it's like a little bit of that. I feel like if you feed into that type of behavior and that type of shit, then that's exactly what that person gonna be. It's kind of like when you say, oh, you bad to a kid, you bad, and they hear that shit, then they start acting bad because that's what you're saying. So do you think that was a little bit that fed into what your mom was doing?
No, because honestly, she didn't really do that a lot. It wasn't like it was just like a lot, or like she didn't seriously recognize me as a little boy.
Did she buy you boy clothes?
No.
Let you play basketball?
No. Well, yeah, she didn't play basketball.
Yeah, that's unisex.
Yeah,
depending on what team you rooting for, they're girls anyways.
yeah. So she didn't do any of that kind of stuff. Even when I started, like when I got into high school and I started wearing male clothes, that was all because I had my own job and I was buying my own clothes.
True,
she wasn't
same.
She wasn't finna buy all that stuff. So
so it didn't feed into that.
Nah.
Okay, cool. The Bootsy Lil Wayne situation, I heard you ranting about that shit online, and actually I disagree with a lot of your points on the cool.
Oh, what you disagree with?
Well, the whole testosterone thing, them starting off on testosterone. First of all, he's a little kid. I don't think, this is my opinion about it, I don't know the facts, I'm not a scientist or anything, but I don't think any kid that's younger than 16 should be making their own decisions about anything because they're not old enough. They haven't seen much of the world or anything to even develop the thought about doing what the fuck they want to do. Like,
can you explain the situation?
Oh. Yeah, for sure. For people that don't know, even though I know everybody fucking knows, D Wade, he let I want to say her name right. Zaya or Yaya. She came to him and told him that she wants to transition into a woman, and he supports her wholeheartedly. Well, Boosie got online and he said some pretty crazy, outrageous stuff. I don't agree with what he said. Oh, you're going to cut his dick off. Yeah, that was pretty wild because everybody knows that does a little bit of research on the situation, knows that you don't cut your kid's dick off. No. And they don't even do surgery for that. No. So that's what happened with that. And everybody was going back and forth on it. Yeah, Boosie's right. Yeah, D-Wade's right. And I don't think either one of them is right. I don't think D-Wade is right. First of all, putting it out there publicly. That's a private thing that you go through with your child. When I turned gay and I came out finally to my mom didn't broadcast it. And it's not because she was ashamed. She was scared of the publicity of me coming out. And the things that I could have gotten myself into and how people would react to me coming out. So one, I don't agree that he should be public with it. That's family business. Let your kid have the privacy to deal with what they're going on. Not that it's a bad thing that they're going through or that they're doing, but that deserves a little bit of privacy. Something so intimate as changing genders is private. And you shouldn't be sitting up there letting the whole world know. I don't care that you're a famous basketball player. I don't care that, it's eventually going to get out. No, let your kid be private because they're not in the spotlight like you. And I don't agree with Boosie. You're going to cut your dick off. And that just shows how ignorant he is to the whole situation, but I am too, and that's why I have you here. And I just want to know your thoughts on the Boosie versus Lil Wayne and the backlash of the public. The public is going crazy too. They're sitting up there taking sides. And the whole thing is that these are two kids. These are two kids. Oh yeah, and a little bit about even after he said that, then he went and got his 11, 12-year-old. How old is
that
his
video
kid?
was old.
11, 12 year
At
old.
the time, I think it was like 12.
Yeah,
that video was a couple years old.
Got his basically a prostitute and had that prostitute perform oral sex on his kid
and his nephew.
Who was
about the same age.
Yeah.
Oh, who did this?
Boosie.
Lil Boosie.
What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
What
That's the thing, Caleb. I'm glad you chimed in. Is that people are praising Lil Boosie for getting his kid oral sex, and then they're shaming D Wade for lifting and elevating and supporting his kid. Both of them. I'm not saying that transitioning is bad. I just think how he went about it was wrong, and Boosie was just wrong all the fuck together. There's no way I'm gonna be like, suck my nephew's dick.
Yeah, that's not okay.
That's weird. And then if you were sitting around, that's like on some pedo shit on the cool. Your son.
That is pedophilia.
Yeah. It's super pedophilic. But I ain't even gonna get on the young lady that was like, Lil Boosie want me to suck his nephew's dick.
So I'm gonna do it.
A weirdo. But what's your thoughts about that? Because I think a lot of people have these conversations without someone that's actually going through and actually in the lifestyle of that. They just like to rant off at the mouth because they just want to hear themselves talk and they don't want to be wrong. But I love hearing other people's opinions, especially someone that's in the lifestyle transitioning as we speak.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to gather my thoughts because that was
that was a lot. That was a lot.
Get all my stuff together. Okay.
That was a lot. I'm a ranty bitch.
Okay, so
RB.
First one. How old were you when you realized you like women? Girls.
Oh shit.
Women at that point.
Like maybe like 5.
And if your mother would have told you, you don't like girls, you like boys, would you have been like, yeah, you're right, mama, I like boys? Or would you have been like, no, mama, I like girls?
Who knows? Because I was so young at that point. Somebody forced you into doing something so long, you start to believe it. You sell yourself a lie so many times, you even start believing it. So who knows what would have happened? Yeah, sometimes. But who knows what would have happened? I never told my mom that I liked girls. I just, knew I liked them. And based off of what everyone else was doing, society, all of my friends that I had was girls and they liked boys. And I was just like, oh, I see these as, my niggas. I'm chilling with my niggas. Right. But I'm looking at y'all on the cool because y'all are who I like.
Right.
I don't know what would have transpired from that because I never told her.
You probably would have still felt how you felt. Just like if I were to tell you don't like women, you like men, what would you tell me?
I mean, get the fuck out of my office.
Exactly. You know what you like. So that's just that's innately within you. That's the same thing as being transgender. You just naturally, and this is from a young age. So that's why I feel like we don't give children enough credit. I feel like we downplay them or downplay just how sure of themselves and certain things that they are. Now, there are certain things that children, they don't know any better, that they do need guidance, and you do need me there to tell you, no, that's not what's best for you because you can't see the bigger picture. But to me, something like that, to me, and let's be clear, there's a difference between gender orientation and sexual identity.
For people that don't understand, like me, what is it?
So
because I get really confused on gender orientation.
Sexual orientation, not gender orientation.
Sexual orientation and what else?
Sexual orientation and gender identity.
Okay, explain those.
Sexual orientation is who you're attracted to. Gender identity is who you feel like you are. So those two, a lot of people get those mixed up. Just like when Boosie was like, well, how you know that D Wade's son not going to grow up and like a woman? Okay, she can like a woman. She'll still, and if she still feels like a woman, she'll just be a gay woman. You know what I'm saying? So it has nothing, who a person likes has nothing to do with how they feel about themselves. So that's the difference. It's basically how you feel about yourself, how you see yourself, and who you're attracted to. Those are two separate different things. So...
Don't you think that's some pseudoscience shit, though?
What you mean?
Like, you don't... this is so confusing because the lingo to all of this is so confusing. And
that's what's confusing to you, the lingo.
Yeah, it is confusing. And the thought process behind it is just like, okay, who you feel inside is who you are. So you're a girl, you feel like a man, or vice versa. That doesn't particularly mean that you're supposed to like the opposite sex. And then what's the other one? See, that's why I'm saying I'm even getting tripped up.
You tripping me up. Wait, what?
Okay, so sexual orientation is what?
Who you like.
Who you like. Okay.
Whether you're lesbian, homosexual, or gay, or bisexual, that's stuff.
Okay, so that's who you like. Sexual orientation is who you like. And then what's the other one?
And then gender identity is how you feel.
Gender identity.
How you identify.
And that goes along with the cis male, transgender male. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then that's so confusing. That stuff right there is that okay? You like who you like, and you are who you are at a baseline right there.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. You like who you like, and you are who you are. But those are two different things.
And then,
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, but if you have a penis, then science and society say you're supposed to like a girl. And if you have a vagina, science and society says that you like a boy. But a lot of people change out of that, because there's some girls, like I said in the beginning, there's some studs that change over, they start wearing baggy pants, blah, 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 all that shit, and then they turn back into what I would say nature tells them to. And some people don't change over at all, probably going to be one of them. And nature takes them back to this course that they're supposed to have because we have feminine, genes. We're nurturers, we're carers, we do this. And then men are providers and they're fighters and this. And you need male and feminine energy to survive. So it's like it would only be right that we stray back into what we are, unless you're a fuck like me and you don't want kids and any of that, and you want a cat. Yeah. You want a pussy. To pet and to fuck.
Yeah. Thanks. See, that was a lot too.
It's a lot. Because I don't understand that. That's why I brought you home, because I truly want to understand, but I don't understand someone. If you're gonna like girls anyways, then why do you have to change over to do it? Even if you feel like that, like the only reason you feel like that is because you like girls, so you don't have to change over.
That's not the only reason you feel like that.
Okay, so it's a feel thing.
Essentially, yeah, it is a feeling thing, because it's all about how something makes you feel. Being a woman didn't make me feel good, but being a man does. Yeah. But just like I said, me liking whoever else, that has nothing to do with how I feel. Okay. So
that is so confusing. I think it's because I'm in the gay spectrum of it. Because gay people, we're gay because we like women, or we like men, we like the opposite sex. But transgender people is not about sex at all. We're sex driven. We're gay because we're sex driven. You guys are how you are because y'all feel, so y'all are emotional driven. So it's like, okay, and I think that's where everybody gets tripped up, including myself, is that we think that y'all are changing because y'all want to fuck something. So y'all, it's not about that. It's about how y'all feel inside.
Yeah, it's solely about you. It ain't got nothing to do with nobody else.
Y'all could care less about that shit. And I'm actually
somebody who's asexual and they be transgender. And
I don't believe in that shit.
You don't believe in that?
No, I don't believe in
asexual.
I don't believe in asexuals.
Don't do it for them. Yeah. They're just not interested.
Yeah, fuck that. You want to get that pussy, eh? I don't believe that shit, bro. I don't believe that shit. But I'm glad that you said that. I'm glad that you got that out the way.
There might also be people that it's hard to have sex.
that too.
Well, they need to loosen that pussy up.
No. It could be the penis too, man. It gets to a point where it's so micro, it's pretty much meaningless.
Yeah, that's why they're asexual, because they're like, man, who's gonna fuck this? Who gonna fuck this shit?
They had to give up.
That's no point. Whatever.
But maybe they knew all along.
I feel like
that it was little.
Some kind of subconscious thought, because they looked at that and just knew that shit wasn't going to work.
This shit ain't going to work.
Before they even saw a dick in their life.
It's still there since birth. The same dick, just there. But I'm actually glad that you cleared that up, that transgender is about feelings and being gay is about sex. a lot of people is gonna get on
it
me
could
about
also
that.
be about feelings too.
Fuck
Because you have feelings for whatever sex.
Yeah, you
have
got.
for.
Yeah, but it's just sex driven. At the baseline, it's sex driven. You're gay because you want to fuck the same sex. But with y'all, you could turn into a man or turn into a woman and still like the same thing. So yeah, y'all are definitely feel.
Caitlyn Jenner.
Who?
Yeah. Caitlyn Jenner.
Don't say her name. We get pulled the fuck off her.
Nah, but it applies.
It does.
100% it applies.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I thought that was weird. She's an ugly ass woman.
Yeah.
Damn.
Man, okay, so I have a question. I have 2 questions.
Oh, please.
First of all, so you're a male now, and so you were a female and you transitioned to male. Mm-hmm. So did you get a procedure done to change your genitalia?
Not yet. I'm trying to get that done before 35. That one is a lot more expensive, and it's a lot more complications that go with that. So I'd rather them come a little bit further on their technique before because that's you'll be down for a while after that. And it's like 2 or 3 stages. So you have to get like 2 or 3 surgeries. So
I heard that it was 2 inches starting off.
I don't know how much it is starting off.
Well, I looked it up. I did a little bit. That was actually
all
one
I have
of my
is questions. I don't even know what you're talking
about. that was one of my questions actually, but I'm not alley-ooped you, but I'm glad that you asked that.
Yeah, I can't remember that.
But shit, yeah, it's 2 inches. It's 2 inches starting off.
It might be because, like I said, it's like it's 2 or 3 surgeries. So like the first one was like 1 layer, then the second surgery they add on some more, then the third is like.
Yeah, they pull the clit out and enlarge it while you're taking testosterone, so that's already building.
There's 2 different ways you can do it. You
what?
can actually
Enlighten me.
You can pull the clit out, so that way you can actually pee through the penis, or you can just get a penis constructed like above your vagina. So the vagina stays intact, but you have a penis.
So you can fuck that pussy and that dick at the same.
I mean, I guess if somebody want to do that.
On that fucking Baphomet shit right there.
It sounds like evolution.
I mean, it's the future. No,
that's some shit right there.
Honestly, I think we're moving into an era because it's kind of like, and I'm a very spiritual person, so I go into like manifestation and like energy and auras and all that kind of shit. And I believe, honestly, we're not even like when we first came. How do I want to put this? When we first came and when we were first our beings, it's like you're not male or female. So it's not necessarily. I feel like just society over the years and through time has kind of put these constraints or these categories saying like, oh well, men have to be this way or women have to be this way or you have to be together or you have to do this and you have to do that. Now, granted, a man and a woman do have to come together to reproduce. So that'll always be that. But did you know that actually women have sperm in their bone marrow? That's a side fact. Anyway, so
yeah, I looked that up too, but it doesn't create a baby. It's not enough.
They said it can, but it could be a little retarded. I don't.
Yeah, it's not enough to do
the
it.
Ultimate inbred.
Yes, yeah. But anyway, so I mean, of course, you need a man and a woman to come together to do that. But aside from that, it's kind of like I think everything else is just kind of free fall. Just like to me, sexuality is fluid. So you have some people who are way on the end of the spectrum, like I'm only gonna like the opposite sex. You got some people who are way on the end of the spectrum, I'm only gonna like the same sex, and then you got everybody in between.
You got gays.
Bisexual or what? That's why you can see a stud or whatever have 3 kids later because it's like her sexuality was fluid. You know what I'm saying? It could be at any time you could like something else, but
do you feel like? Because my theory on things is that the T should be taken out of the LBG. The LBG, because you got are feeling driven, emotional driven. Y'all feel like you are a man or a woman, and while ours is sex driven, the LBGT is sex driven.
You can't. No, that's a misconception.
Oh, it is.
It's not sex driven
because
you can have. Because everybody who's gay or lesbian isn't having sex, and they don't all worry about sex. They're more so worried about a connection with the same sex. It's not all about sex.
Connection with the same sex.
But it don't always have to involve sexual.
In the LBG.
That makes sense to me, actually. That makes a lot of sense to me.
No, I get it. The LBGT is about sex. That's all it's about. Lesbians date lesbians. Why? Yeah, it's the connection. But they ain't having that same connection with no man.
Exactly, but they're not having sex with men either. It's all about...
They're not having sex with a man, but eventually, or whatever, if their connection is strong enough, they're going to have sex with a woman. Men, too. Bisexuals, I think that's another one that should be taken the fuck out because they're... No. Hear me out, though. Because they're teeter-tottering, just giving diseases to everybody. They teeter-tottering on that shit. And 9 times out of 10, they gonna go back to men anyway. Then you got queer, which is basically a gay woman or a gay man. They like teeter-tottering too. And then you got trans, and those are the... It's not that I don't respect trans, not queer or bi. I just think y'all are too confused to be in either group. Y'all just need to have y'all own shit on their own. See,
that's a misconception too. There's a lot of misconceptions about
what is queer.
Now, as far as what queer exactly is, I really don't know. So
it's just a weird ass person that don't know what they want. Look that up. What is queer?
They be adding.
Queer is just strange.
Strange. Okay, you're just weird. Strange. Why are you in this community? None of us are weird. Because we just like pussy or like dick.
I think that heterosexual people have put all the people who are different into that category.
Exactly. And that's the fucked up thing, is that they've put everybody into this category. So we're all supposed to think the same, which that's why I think that trans people get a lot of backlash. That's why I think trans people, with people like me that's living under a fucking rock, I'm like, why the fuck you gotta change just to like that? And that's where that misconception come into, because they didn't put everybody into this umbrella when it's not really an umbrella. It's just a subculture of, the LBGT. And I think that if we start breaking those off, lesbian and gay, which I think is crazy. Gay, you're gay, you're gay. I don't think it should be lesbian or
gay.
Queer. Yeah, it should just be gay. If you like the same sex, you're gay. Yeah. And it shouldn't be lesbian. So, and if trans break off of the LBGT, then I think that they would have way more rights. People would take them way more fucking seriously, because you can just take away those misconceptions about what it is, because a lot of people have that.
You might actually have a point there, because
if you guys are just by yourselves and you say, this is trans, this is what we feel, this is how you is, but when you put somebody in a group, then
because you're right, because a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people get that sexual orientation and that gender identity mixed up, because we're all thrown in with the gay people.
With the gay people, and you're not gay. Yeah, you're not gay.
Yeah, there are some trans people who are gay, but you're right, they're two different. So I actually like that point, because those are two different things, so they probably should break off.
Yeah, separate.
They're throwing it all, and everybody's just
and still come to those fucking parades, man. but
support, but
I think y'all should build that shit up for yourselves, because
it's different.
It's
totally
different. It's different. Yeah. Y'all feel how y'all feel. Yeah. I don't feel like a man, but I do man shit. I dress like a dude. I have certain type of attributes like a dude. Like, I like to go to the gym. I like to work out and be a meathead sometimes. And I don't feel a lot of shit, which that's a real big misconception. Right, Caleb? You feel. You got a motherfucking tank top on.
I think
you feel.
I feel physical things.
What does him have a tank top on? You got a tank top on.
That feels, man. But yeah, the misconception about men is that, they don't feel anything. They like to fight. They like to eat meat, and they treat women like shit. But on the contrary, a lot of men do feel shit. They just hide that shit because of what? Society. Because society says that this is how you're supposed to feel as a man. And so studs, and they're going to hate me for this, but we take on a lot of attributes about that. We try not to feel the way that women are supposed to feel. We try to act like men. The more grimier we is, player we is, then, that's being a man. That's acting like a man. When you guys, y'all just feel like a man. It doesn't matter what man y'all feel like. Y'all could feel like a gay man. Y'all could feel like a straight man. Y'all could feel like a metrosexual. But all of those things are still men. So when you put transgenders into the LBGT, then society, especially ones that don't understand what it's really about and don't even give a fuck to do the research or talk to someone that is transgender, then they group y'all in with gays.
And then they just start thinking.
Then they just start thinking, oh, that's a gay person that wanted to be a man.
Yeah.
No,
So like,
you fuck.
no.
He just got through telling you that he just feels like a man and he was trapped inside of a fucking woman's body for years and years and years. And you just sit up there and bunched him in with a whole bunch of gay girls that just want to lick on some pussy from time to time. And that's not right. And a lot of people get on to me about that I said, oh, you should take the T out of LBGT. No, I think that you guys would be way stronger as a whole by yourselves and not grouped into the LBGT. Yeah, it's a lot. I got so many fucking death threats by that shit.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a good point. I mean, once you explain it, because when you first say it, it's kind of like, well, damn, you just want to leave us out. But
no,
I see what you're saying.
I think
it's
y'all
like
are stronger by yourselves.
It's two different things, and people are getting it misconstrued because you putting it all together.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
It's a lot,
As
but
opposed to,
because it's just like you said, it's just such a free fall thing right
it
there.
is. And here's one thing that I will say, and I really don't even want to say it because I don't. And let me watch how I say it because I don't.
No, don't.
Because
you
I
on that jack?
I don't
Go ahead and speak that truth.
I don't want to get attacked, but
Fuck them.
I feel like, well, even not even just trans people. Sometimes I feel like the gay community. Period. I feel like we just be forcing stuff sometimes. It's like sometimes we just find shit to bitch about, and it's just like, shut the fuck up. Like, just like, I don't know if you were paying attention, but this was like some months ago. They had ended up like changing or like taking because you know like how you have the symbols for man and woman.
Yeah.
So they had, I guess the tampon box used to have the woman symbol on it, never even knew. Then anybody took it away, and people were in an uproar because some trans person wanted them to take it away so they could feel involved and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, I didn't even know that sign was on there in the first place. Who are you to be sitting there looking at this box saying, oh my God, it's a woman sign on there. This makes me feel so just uninvolved. I just buy your tampons and shut the fuck up. Like, why do you have to, it's just like I just feel like sometimes they just nitpick at stuff and they just find stuff. And I'm just like, we have bigger shit to worry about.
A bigger thing is that they're forcing people to, with the label, the he, she, the it, the they, the
Zoe and Z in Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you mean forcing people? What do you mean?
Not forcing it, but they're thinking about it haven't passed, but they've introduced it into several states. I don't know those states, but they've introduced those laws into the Congress to take a look at them. And basically saying that I don't think that it's here, but I think that it's other places that they're going to start finding people when they say the wrong gender.
Oh no, that's ridiculous too.
It is ridiculous.
I will say now, I don't want to make light or because make no mistake about it, when people misgender me, at this point especially, it's always bothered me, but especially now since I look like a man, it really does bother me because it's like, honestly, how stupid do you have to be? Especially if you didn't know me before, but then after you find out I'm trans, now you start saying she, and it's like, I look nothing like a she. So why are you saying that? Like, you sound stupid saying that shit.
Got that beautiful beard and shit.
Thank you. Yeah. But so it's like, so I don't want to, you know what I'm saying, like, make light of it or say, like, it's not important. You should absolutely, you know what I'm saying, respect everybody's pronouns, whatever they prefer. But I don't think that it doesn't have to be, you don't have to start putting fines on people if they don't say it right. You know what I'm saying?
I just think that the one thing that I keep trying to influence on everybody is, especially the trans community and especially gays, just start being normal. And the people that fuck with you will fuck with you, and the people that don't, fuck them.
I don't even like to say normal, because what is normal? Who wants to be normal?
Exactly.
Basically, be yourself. And you're right. The people who want to fuck with you, they're going to fuck with you. If they don't,
yeah, then just leave them the fuck
leave
around. Don't force people into doing shit that they don't want to do. It's people that's going to call somebody a N-word. And if they call them an N-word too much, a black person an N-word too much, are you going to keep coming around and expecting them to call you your name? No. You're just going to stop fucking with them altogether. Right. So just do that. Just really low-key, I feel like trans is the new black.
Really?
Yeah, trans is the new black.
I won't push it that far.
Yeah,
but
people don't want to push it that far because they're like, oh, damn, we still ain't got reparations. Well, we ain't never getting them shit. We ain't never getting them shit. Let's be real.
We can get into all that. But I can see the correlation. I still don't think we can take that far. But I do see where trans people do need rights. We do need to be recognized. We do need to be respected. So I can see that part.
Yeah. Just treat them like they human. Mm-hmm. That's where it all boils down to at the very end, treating them like they human.
That's a good point. We'd all get along a lot better as long as you respect people and respect their boundaries and do you.
Yeah.
Like you really wouldn't have because
you wouldn't have no fucking laws. Like I said, I used to want to be a dog. And if I told you, hey, call me Ruford.
You know, there's actually people who are like that.
And we're going to get into that. But
they think they're dogs and cats and all that. Hey, do you? I say do you. I can't say I agree with it, but do you?
I say do you. But don't you think that that's a little bit of hypocritical to a person that want to be a dog?
You could say that it could be hypocritical. Cool. And I know I've heard this argument as well because people get to saying, well, if you say you want to be a man and you say you're a man, people just want to say they want to be a dog, and now you're a dog. And look, I don't know about all that. I don't know about none of that. And honestly, in my honest opinion, I think it's a little funny. But I don't want to sound like a hypocrite. So all I can say is just let people do them. If somebody feel like they're a dog, all right, let them act like a dog.
See, and
it is a difference though, because no matter what unless there's something I don't know about, there's not some kind of medicine or something that you can take that'll make you grow hair and paws and all this other kind of stuff to make you look like a dog. You can take things ain't no surgery in the world gonna make you have all that hair everywhere.
Dude, there's surgeries out here that make you look like a whole different person. Look at Kylie Jenner.
That's a person.
That's a whole different people.
We don't have surgeries that make you look into animals.
What
make you look into people, other people.
No.
There's some chicks out there that look like cats. Straight up.
What? Okay.
Cat's like the most common one that they can pull off.
I have not. That's a little easier though. I don't know.
It shit doesn't look easy.
I don't know.
No, but I'm glad that you went into that because my whole thing was that if we accept one, we gotta accept the other.
You're right.
So
that's why I said let people do what they do.
But we can't let people do them in this aspect. And I went way deep into it. I'm kind of a conspiracy factist, not conspiracy theory, because most of that shit that be online is facts. But there's weirdo freaks out here that put the two together, and it's trans-agism and trans-speciesism. A long time ago, back in like the early 2000s, this guy was a lizard. I don't know his name.
Oh, the guy with the split tongue and all that stuff?
Yep. Yeah, and he identifies as a lizard. Before this whole thing was even a thing, he identified as a lizard. Then you got Rachel Dolezal. She identifies as a black woman. Yeah. So it's like, okay, we accept transgender, but then we push off the trans racism and the trans races, not racist, trans race. Trans race and trans species. Mm-hmm. But if you accept one, then the others are gonna come up, and you're gonna get this fuck that takes transgender and trans-agism and put them together. And then you have a fucking 50-year-old man that thinks that he's a girl and identifies as a girl. Mm-hmm. And you know who 6-year-old girls like? Mm-hmm. Other 6-year-old boys. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm trying to figure out, where the fuck do we cap it off at? Where we cap it off at? Because this is a real thing. It's a 50-year-old man. I don't know his name, but of course, I'm diving deep into everything, and I come across a video of a man that identifies as a 6-year-old girl. Mm-hmm. He has a new mommy and daddy, and he left his... No, seriously, we laughing about this now, but he left his kids, and he left his wife. Of course, his kids is grown, but he left his wife, and he identifies as that. And my whole thing is that we're sitting up here and we're accepting the transgenders, but they're gonna get into, where is our rights?
Right.
Where's our rights? And we can't sit up here and shice them off because we just got through accepting and giving laws to not only gay people, but we just gave laws to trans people to change their identity on their ID card and to do all this other shit. And then we sit up here and shice them and be like, no, fuck y'all. So now what do we do? What do we do? How do we cap it off? How do we even go about capping it off? What's going on?
You know what? Those are all very good questions that I honestly don't have answers to because I that's stuff that I've sat and thought about myself. And honestly, I'll be honest with you, not too deep, but I have thought about it because it is kind of like, where do you cap it? Where do you say, well, this is okay, but this isn't? Because, and I don't want to say it's a joke to me. I wouldn't take somebody telling me they feel like they're a dog as serious as somebody saying, I feel like I'm a woman, or I feel like I'm a man, and
or I feel like I'm a 6-year-old girl, and now I have to go back to kindergarten and be around all your fucking kids.
Now, see, that's taking it too far, and I also think there has to be, and make no mistake about this, because I don't want anybody to listen to this and then take away with, see, I knew transgender people were mentally ill. No,
you definitely not.
No, I'm just saying I think that some people you do have to take into account how their mental state is or whether a mental illness is playing a part. Because to me, I'm sorry, a 50-year-old man thinking he's a 6-year-old woman, that sounds more like split personality disorder than it does to me, as opposed to you feeling like you're really a 6-year-old girl. You know what I'm saying? Because even if...
But do not 50-year-old women that have felt that all their lives, who knows if he felt like that all his life? That's the one tricky thing about this whole thing, is that it's based off of feelings, so we can't tell anyone how they feel. Mm-hmm. And so we turn around and we accept one and we shame the other. And it's going to get to the point where, and this is just my deep state conspiracy thing going on right now, but it's going to get to the point where pedophiles are going to have their rights.
See, that's what I hate. I hate when they try to throw that.
Oh my God, I hate that everybody...
That's why I say, quote unquote, normal society or traditional society, anything that is outside of their norm, they just throw it all into the LGBT.
But it's not a 50-year-old identifying as a 6-year-old and then going back to kindergarten, because whether we like it or not, it's gonna come to that point. If we're already giving gays can get married, and we're eventually going to give transgenders their rights also. And then you're going to get some fuck that puts the two together, trans-agism, transgender together. And we're going to also give them rights. And it's all going to be based off of feelings. Mm-hmm. So we can't tell them how they feel. So we got to give them right, because this is America and it's the home of the brave, the home of the free, the land of the brave, or whatever the fuck. I haven't seen any of that going on since the last 2 months now, since COVID. But we have to give people their rights, and that's just giving the out for pedophilia to come in. Because if they identify and they feel like they're a girl, they feel like they're 6 years old, who are we to tell them that? So we have to, A, give them their rights, and then B, let them do what they do. So, and everybody likes to think that, oh, now they'll never get that far. Guess what? Nobody ever thought that gays would get this far, to the point where we could get married legally. And nobody ever thought that transgenders would get to this far, that they could be open and honest about what they feel and how they're dealing with things. But we've gotten to that point, and it won't happen in my generation or your generation or any of these people in this room's generation, but it is to come. And I think that is exactly why they're ushering in this whole agenda about trans.
It's to come.
Yeah, it's to come.
It's like literally like come. C-U-M.
Oh, my God.
Like, that's what this is all about. As long as you can get it up.
That's what gays, we only like to come. They feel how they feel. Damn it.
I don't, like I said, I don't. So you said it's trans-ages? I'm going to have to look into that. Because like I said, that's, to me, that's
look
more,
that up.
Trans-agism, to me, that sounds like someone who's like 60 and they think that they're 6.
Yeah, to me,
that's ridiculous.
But that's more of like
it's a 45, it's a 50-year-old man that dipped out. I wish I would have looked this up. Looked at the shit, looked at the fuck up. That seems
more, like I said, that seems more split personality kind of stuff to me. But could you not say the same about transgender? No, because to me, if I were to think I was a 6-year-old girl, or let's say I was a 50-year-old man, I'm thinking I'm a 6-year-old girl, you're thinking you're somebody completely different. Whenever you're trans, you're not thinking you're just somebody complete. You're still you. You're just trying to have the outside match the inside. To me, that's
how is they not?
Okay, I looked it up on the Urban Dictionary. It says trans-age pedophilia with extra steps.
Basically, that's what it's sounding like.
It is.
Would you like me to use it in a sentence?
No. But that's what I'm saying. Is that it's gonna come to that because it's all a feeling. It's all about your feelings, all about how you feel inside. So they can't tell transgenders how they feel inside, and that's why we have to give them rights. But also because it's a feeling.
But I don't think it would necessarily come that far with trans-agism in this case, because that's whatever this 50-year-old man wants to act like a 6-year-old girl and have a crush on little other 6-year-old boys or whatever 6-year-old girls. That is breaking the law. Nothing that me transitioning from a man to from a woman to a man has nothing to do with breaking the law.
Have they not broke the law have they not redone the law to let gay people get married? It was illegal.
Well, no. That's something totally different. I'm talking about a 50-year-old man trying to have a relationship with a 6-year-old boy.
That's what I'm saying. They break the law all the time and they redo the law all the time.
I can't see them doing that because then that would just
that's
be free fall.
That's what I'm saying is that it's a free fall. It is accepted until it's not accepted. Back in the day, you couldn't get married if you was gay. Just write up a will when you want your bitch to get your shit when you die. Yeah. That's how it was. And then you turn around and then there's new laws. Obama, he gave new laws to us. We can get married. So they rearrange and redo the law all the time. So who knows when, and it's too far-fetched for us to understand it right now because we're thinking, no one would go that fucking far. But back in the 50s, they were saying the same thing about gay people. No one would go the fuck that far to make gay marriage legal. And here we are today, 2020, with laws for gay people to get married.
I still don't think that one would go that far, though. Just because I think there is, and I don't know where the cap is, but I can tell you that there would definitely be a cap for a lot of people to be against a grown man trying to have a relationship with a child.
You know what I think the cap should be? You can be trans-agism to 18. That's the lowest you can go. That's the lowest you can go. Yeah, that's what I think. That's 17. You can trans-age all you want to, but the lowest you can go is 18. That means that you're still in the law.
See,
you're still in the law. 50 or 18 is not 18. No,
you're right. I just got to look more into that because, like I said, that's spelling out more of a mental illness to me.
Here's the thing: like
they just took it out.
If your body is literally as old as it is, that's how old you should be tried as. You just try them as a normal person. You don't even have to think that far into it.
But that's the thing is that
regardless of what they think their brain is literally as old as it is.
Right.
Can't change that.
No, I get you.
Until we can alter time, people can't have that argument. But we can alter gender, which is why they have an argument.
But that's all based on gender is all based on science. Everything that's been going is on science. So if you go by science, then that means that you would have to go by chromosome, which means that you would have to have a X and a Y, which makes you what? A girl or a boy?
Boys XY.
Boys are XY, and you have XX. That means that it's a girl. So if you go by science, then you have to go by it full throttle. You can't, step on that shit. You got to go by it full throttle. And then if you trans, you have to go off of feelings, and that's what they're fighting for. That I feel Like I'm a woman and I need to change into a woman's body. And that's the thing. Nobody can tell you how you could feel. That's not science based. So that's why that they get the rights that they got, because it's a feeling that you cannot trace back to science. You can't tell nobody how it is. And that's the thing that I'm worried about. I'm not worried about trans people that fully understand themselves. They know it since they've been born or since the age of whatever. I'm worried about fucks out there that want to touch on little boys and little girls.
I don't think that's ever going to be a thing. Until we can change how time works,
that's what everybody thinks. But you got to think about it. Everything is far-fetched until it happens. If you're going to
get a lot more people getting murdered then.
If you, yeah, of course. But guess what? Trans and gay people went through murder too. But motherfuckers was getting murdered.
I see.
Until everybody started to accept that, this is who they are, this is how they are, and they had alliances. Now, with pedophilia, nobody will openly say that I support a pedophilia.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think they would ever get
with the whole deep state and everything going on in those pedophile rings and how many of them are there, that's why they are trying to push this whole fucking agenda about what is going on. And they're using us, this community, the LGBT community, to push that fucking agenda.
That is something that
they're trying to push that shit. And us, the LGBT community, we're not fucking down with that. We think that you should be of age to have sex and think about what the fuck you're doing. But they're using us. They're using us as the fucking Trojan horse to push into the city to get their agenda across. And nobody's down for it except for those sick fucks.
Which I agree with you. That is what they're doing. But I don't think that it would ever get that far to pass a law just because, like I said, somebody transitioning from a man to a woman or a woman to man, that's still not encroaching on anybody else's, rights or harming anybody else. But a grown person having sex or engaging in any kind of adult interaction with a child, that's encroaching on somebody's rights.
Until they change the law.
But I don't even think they'll change. I don't think there's not going to ever be enough people who are going to be down with that.
Yeah.
That just don't make no sense.
Yeah, I definitely think that they should cap it off at 18. If you want to be trans-agism, cap it the fuck off at 18. So then at least you
can stick with somebody who's 18 and up who feels like they're whatever they are. So y'all can be 6-year-olds in the head together over there. But don't be messing with no real 6-year-old over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, no.
Yeah, that's weird. No. But man, go ahead and tell them we're all spiders on the web. We live on that shit. Go ahead and tell them what you're doing, where you're doing it at, and all of your social websites.
Right now, I'm still trying to revamp my YouTube page, but you can still go follow it because, once I get everything together, I want people to be able to look. It's actually FTM Mo Henderson. I'm sorry. It's FTMO Henderson. So it's like, I came up with the name female to Mo Henderson. So that's what it stands for. So FTMO Henderson, that's my YouTube. My Instagram is GUVPPA_. It's Guapa. It's a play off my rap name. And then my Facebook is just plain old Mo Henderson. So if anybody wants to contact me if they have any questions or anything, feel free to do so.
Or if you want to have this guy on your podcast, or if you want to speak at somewhere that a lot of people don't understand, like your school or your church or anything like that, man, hit this guy up. Definitely. He's good. He got the information. He got the juice.
Yeah, thank you.
So, we're out.
This is Mo Henderson, and you're tuned into An Hour with Crowder.